Good evening, Twitch. How you doing? It's Sunday night. It's Mother's Day, so hopefully you've taken a moment out of your day and called your mother or thanked your mother for anything and everything that she has done for you in your life. But first tonight, finished Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. And I'm very satisfied, actually. I'm more than satisfied, actually, with the ending I got. Because there was actually a wrong, well, there wasn't really a wrong decision. There was just a second ending. That probably would have, through a conventional playthrough, I'd be fine with it, but streaming it, I'd probably be pretty upset. So I'm glad I got the ending I'm very satisfied with. But for us tonight here, now that we finished off our RPG of the month for the month of May, which was Final Fantasy Type 0 HD, we are now going to move on and play a game I've honestly kind of been playing a lot of lately off the side, which is kind of silly considering this is probably the game I should be streaming instead of RPGs. That's Dauntless. It's actually it's still in early access or closed beta. It's about to enter open beta, so maybe there might be another wipe. I'm actually not familiar with it, but this is effectively the last month where this game is going to be in closed beta. This was developed by Phoenix Labs, and so it's a new company, a new game, and they're trying to make the first free-to-play Monster Hunter game here in the West. I have streamed this before, so I did get a early access key thanks to the developers of Phoenix Lab that I met at TwitchCon 2017, which I'm very thankful for. And I kind of want to take a moment and play the game a little bit more and kind of show a little bit more in depth about the game. Exposure, thank you very much for the host, always appreciate it. Hopefully your stream with Killing Floor and Siege went well tonight. But why don't we jump on in here. Let's get into this game. Like I said, I have been playing this a lot, but I think for tonight, what I want to do, I want to start off slow and kind of want to show the game, the more basics of the game. Because I don't want to just jump on in and show the endgame content, because I actually have some important stuff. So we kind of dressed up in what is effectively your starting gear. So I have the entire recruit set and a training sword. I'll be doing most of these hunts solo as well. I guess if I actually take a moment here. What's actually interesting about this game here, like I said, I'm going to show you my loadout here. I literally went the bare bones for anything and everything. So we have the resistance breastplate, the mask, even equipped the lantern here, supplies. I've liked how they streamlined a lot of this game. I will tell you that it's still not there yet. I'm still actually having to constantly switch between keyboard and gamepad. I prefer playing this on a gamepad over over using the keyboard and mouse. But that's once you get into kind of third-person stuff, I kind of default towards controllers over actually using keyboard and mouse. There's just certain types of games I just think this is probably going to be played better than with a gamepad than a keyboard and mouse. We have a wide variety of weapons here, kind of show you how much time I've put into this game here. I've collected quite a few weapons here. I got a little bit biased towards the chain blades. But I'm going to start just with using the training sword here. Supplies, I actually like what they did. So in this game now, you always have 5 healing potions. I think that's a great improvement than having to constantly make healing potions or going into a hunt without healing potions. And you do also get 1 revive crystal, so even if you can't be revived, so if the danger level goes up to 100%, you actually can revive yourself and give yourself a bit of a second chance. But everything else, though, you still have to create yourself. So things like the Frenzy Tonic here, Stamina Tonic, Life Spring Pylon, all these things you still have to actually basically farm materials for. But they have made it a little bit easier.
Hey there, Skipper.
That's one thing that kind of is annoying, is every time you use the gamepad to talk to people, you'll instantly make whatever's on the top of your menu here. Thankfully, I don't really need to worry about making Aether Drive tonics, so that's actually, it's not really a real loss in materials and stuff. So you still have to actually create everything. So you have very good things like the Bulwark Potion, that's very good for late game. I highly recommend actually getting used to that one. Frenzy Tonic's pretty nice. Insight Tonics, it's very specific. I haven't really... There's still some mechanics. I wish there was some sort of manual or a better explanation on. Because things like wound damage, I don't feel is well explained to people. It's like Assault Tonics, increased stagger damage. Something that's also not explained well in-game or through a manual or anything like that. I will say, though, like, the town of Ramsgate here really hasn't changed much, if at all. They have streamlined some things about the game, so we still have Armor Smith here. He can make all your... Oh, I'm sorry, Weaponsmith here. And he can make all your weapons and armor and stuff, provided you have the pieces here. They have gotten rid of, at least for now, to my knowledge, the general... Or I guess the generic armor. And I kinda am okay with that, because it used to be... One of the flaws of having the generic armors in this game was that you would have that, and you would have to farm a lot of materials just to actually craft it. And it was one of those things like, okay, you can't kill the behemoths, but you can improve your gear and get better, so you can increase your likelihood of actually killing, because this is very much a numbers-based game, so if I went full force with my better weapons and such, the starting behemoths would be pretty much a joke. But they gotten rid of all the star sets, so pretty much it's just whatever you get from hunting and the recruit set, which is just what you start out with. But they have added one other thing. Well, maybe not add. They've had it, but they've kind of put a bit more of a focus on it. You can actually also now have set bonuses with all your armors, which honestly makes the game a little interesting, because I like the concept of having focused set bonuses, but there's not much... I wish there was more focus on that, and they didn't have to worry about the numbers. We also have the lanterns. Lanterns have gotten a bit of an overhaul. So instead of it just being a single ability, you now have an instant ability and a hold ability. So Scarn's defense here, you can get yourself a 200 HP shield for 4 seconds, or you can hold it and become a whirling stone hurricane around you. That'll just deal damage to any and all behemoths around.
Goodbye, Slayer, and good luck.
So just to start out here, like I said, during this closed beta period, they said that you're going to get a reward if you play all the way through to the Maelstrom, which we have. The exclamation point there just simply means there's a quest that we can do. As to kind of be specific here, this is where the game kind of changes, where the game has a normal mode and a heroic mode, and I'll explain that a little bit later. But for now, why don't we go to the Monstrous Verge? As you can see, I kind of like this, although I'm curious how they resolve the matchmaking, because now instead of just going out and hunting a behemoth, or having to hunt a random behemoth at random, like a couple of times, then you get to choose which behemoth you want to hunt. You now have 3 options. So now you get Patrol. Patrol is basically saying you're not worried about the behemoth that shows up, but your benefit for doing this is that you get more Arcanite, and this is something that you have to actually now gain. You actually now get for not from breaking off parts of the behemoth. You now get it from just simply completing the hunt, which I think is very nice. Makes it nice and streamlined. Expeditions, you get to choose between the zones there. So we have 2 places here: Ulrich's Refuge and Iron Falls, and that will also determine what behemoth you'll be fighting. But it's an indirect, so there's some behemoths that exist in some territories and others that don't. But the benefit, if I can actually show this, let me actually see if I can actually select this. There we go. You actually get rewards of stuff that you can end up making potions and such, which is honestly not a bad idea. But as you can see, though, your Arcanite for weapon and armor also gets reduced, and you also get reduced notes, but the ingredients are meant to make up for that. And then there's Pursuit. So you're not really focused on gathering materials or just getting as much weapon Arcanite as possible. You can just simply choose right out of the gate what you actually want to hunt. Kind of like this. I actually like this option. I'm curious about the matchmaking, given that I don't feel like it's going to be a problem having people still be paired up with each other based on just the behemoth that you're going to be hunting. but because the rewards should always be different for each person. So it's more of just like, are you hunting in this territory, or are you hunting this behemoth? So I'm curious how they do the matchmaking. But before we jump into the hunt, there's one other thing. So this game suffered a bit of a loot box identity crisis when, let's just be honest, when Star Wars Battlefront 2 basically created entire controversy, and Phoenix Labs actually dropped their loot box. There still is loot boxes in this game, but they're not really, it's hard to say actually. You do get some power, but it's not going to make it imbalanced. But for their model though, of actually encouraging people to play, you now have reputation levels. So, and you also get dailies and weeklies from these. So this is basically kind of the way they're going to encourage people to play every day for a free-to-play game. So what do we have here? We have Into the Endless Storm, complete 1 patrol hunt, Staggering Genius, get 3 staggers on any behemoth. I've already completed that one. And then Slayer's Club, hunt 10 behemoths. So that, very generic here. Then we go to Weapon Master. I should also mention, level progression rewards do exist. And this is where the cores or the loot boxes basically got transferred to. So this gives you benefits to augment your armor and weapons. That's what's inside the cores there. Weapon Master. This is something that's gotten a bit of flack, and I understand why, because axes and war pikes are locked by default, so you actually have to level up your reputation before you can even use an axe or a war pike, and that honestly kind of sucks. From what I understand, they're removing that, so you can just focus on playing the playstyle that you prefer right out of the gate, which I'm honestly in favor for. But I do like the fact that they create some sort of incentive encouraging people to play the game on, you know, on a daily basis. So it's like you can just, if you really are invested in, if you become invested in this game, or you really are invested in this game, you're gonna want to do these dailies and stuff, because just getting the reputation, getting benefits, so like cells here. I'll explain the cells in a moment. Like knockout king cell, increase the stagger damage, sharpened cell, which is actually a very nice one. If you're farming parts off enemies, and overpower, increased damage against staggered behemoth. And then finally we have the alchemist one. This allows you to actually unlock potions, and also unlock pylons and such. And from the cores here, for the alchemist cores, you get you can get some cells, but at the same time you also get ingredients. And these are very straightforward as well. Like I said, gather 10 Wrathwort. Complete 2 expedition hunts. And then finally for the weekly, gather Skybloom. Skybloom is pretty much your most common ingredients you want. So that's actually their strategy. It's kind of a nice way, actually. It just gives you a daily, so it makes that incentive for people who just want to play on a daily basis. Quest so far in this game has kind of been a repeat of everything I've done before. It's just more of the quest line in this game has just been the progression of this game. But for now, why don't we go to the Monstrous Verge here? I think I actually, one second. Yeah, so we'll actually do a patrol hunt. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna play myself. What's also nice about this is there's start hunt, basically puts you in public queue, and then there's private hunt. You can just go into a hunt yourself, or with your party. And this is also a very nice change as well. It used to be you couldn't change your gear or anything once you actually got into the lobby. Now you can. You can examine yourself and change your gear and equipment, and you can also improve, or you can also look at the gear of other people as well. But for that, we're just going to click on ready, and we're going to go into it. It definitely has improved. This game has definitely improved the UI. It's not there yet completely. There's still a lot of awkward bugs or lack of inputs if you play with a gamepad in this game. So you're definitely going to be constantly switching between your gamepad and your mouse. I should also do this. One second. That animation there is just a fun one I got from when they celebrated Halloween. But this being a, I guess you would say, I think I actually like the way I explain it. Like, I consider this to be a very, you know, if you've never played a proper Monster Hunter game before, you know, my experience with Monster Hunter games are, you know, Dragon Ball Xenoverse. That's honestly my experience when it comes to playing Monster Hunter games. I'm trying to think of a few others. I've played other style Monster Hunter games, but never a true Monster Hunter game like Dauntless or, well, of course, Monster Hunter. But just like any other Monster Hunter game, I know gathering is a gigantic part of this game, and it really has not changed that much. Has not changed with Dauntless. They have reduced it, though, so you're not going to be bumbling around spending half of your time gathering materials, unless you want to. Unless you're that intent on gathering materials and actually fighting the Behemoth. So here's that Sky Bloom. Actually collect a lot of this, thank goodness. Still need to find the Nashor, though. But they have created a few new islands. This is actually one of the new islands they created for the level here. But they kind of kept everything very, very quarantined or sectioned off. Like, you're not going to find yourself chasing after the Behemoth too hard. You know, the Behemoth can run away and go to a different area, but they're not going to... You're not going to be basically traveling throughout this entire island as the Behemoth attacks you. I'm actually surprised I haven't found the Behemoth yet. But what I want to do, basically, for these streams here, is I kind of want to show the game in full. Nope. Thanks. Oh, no, there he is. Oh! Okay. I kind of wish I had better gear right now. So this is the Quillbar. Also known as a very powerful enemy. And I am going to regret fighting this thing with recruit armor. Come on. Up. But if you ever play a game like Dark Souls or a lot of other reaction-based games, I'm actually just gonna use my... Oh, right, I had the borrowed lantern. Never mind. Never mind. Oh, this is gonna be a thing. I should not have done this. Oh, right, the train sword can't do anything. I forgot about that. Oh, I'm probably gonna die here. I am... Oh, this is gonna be funny. Should not have fought... Should not pick patrol with random. I should just pick the Nashor. The Nashor is a good starting one. Oh, bollocks. Should really not have picked the Nashor. Or should have picked the Nashor. I wonder if I could actually just activate my overdrive. But if you played, like I said, a lot of these games, honestly, just since I'm more of a... I'm used to a Dark Souls game, and I kind of get the same basic vibe from these games. Oh, this is... Tell you right now to never do this. But if you enjoy pattern recognition, this is definitely going to be a game for you. Oh. It's very straightforward. I'm doing terrible right now. And also doesn't help a lot of the time. This is one thing the game they'll definitely hopefully fixed is I really should be moving more. Is the whole weapon sheathing or getting up, because I feel like if you get hit, you can end up just becoming so slow. That's also one thing that kind of sucks. God, imagine having a challenge basically be, hey, we're just gonna just recruit armor and do nothing but the training blade. Kill all the behemoths. That would be a very, very torturous way of going through this game. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I already used all my health potions because I am so not used to using a sword. And it's been ages. Because I'll say right now, once you get past, there's this one hump of one behemoth. Oh, right. Well, let's just use the revive crystal. Probably should have only taken on the Nasher. Should have taken on the Nasher. There we go. Consider it a win if I could even get one part off. Ah, come on, really? It's like a weird Zen-like thing of hunting these monsters. Oh, I screwed that up. Yep, there you go. Definitely should not take recruit armor and a training sword against the quill shot boar. Unfortunately, when you do play solo, you are only going to get one life. I should have taken a look and see what I was fighting. I could have sworn it said Nasher. I could have sworn it said Nasher. That was the one downside. But if anything, I'll just do another patrol at the starting area, and then I'll base my gear off of that. Actually, no, we'll just hunt the Nasher specifically. We'll go to Monstrous Verge, we'll do a pursuit, and we'll hunt the Nasher. Shouldn't be so hard in the starting armor, because at the start of this game, you're basically going to be hunting a bunch of rogue behemoths, which are basically... I completely forgot to select Private Hunt, apparently. This is a multiplayer game up to 4 people. I should mention that. And I think you will have the most fun if you do have a group of friends to play with. But what's interesting about this game is that I'd say, and I agree with Exposure on this, and he's a huge Monster Hunter fan. Monster Hunter games are his bread and butter. That's where he has a lot of fun on his own personal time. If you're a person who's used to playing Monster Hunter games, and I mean the franchise, not just in general, but the franchise of Monster Hunter, it's very doubtful you'll enjoy playing this game. Just simply because the mechanics in World are a lot more advanced, they're a lot more complicated, and a lot of things that you were used to will not exist in Dauntless. And I think it's important to have that healthy set of expectations. Because it's very different having the expectation of knowing what you're getting into. Like, I consider this, if you've never played a Monster Hunter game before, this, and you've never wanted to buy things like Dragon Ball Xenoverse or Xenoverse 2 or any other style of Monster Hunter game, I think this actually is probably one of the better games to actually try to understand why people play Monster Hunter games in the first place. It's a great introductory into the world of Monster Hunter games. Like, knowing that you're going to be spending your time doing things like gathering, or building, or making potions and such, and making armors, and going through the thrill of fighting gigantic behemoths. Speaking of behemoths, there's our Nasher. Although I do like one thing that they have that you don't really see in Monster Hunter World. Not the Twitch, not just because it's a Twitch logo, but because it's a flare. And that's honestly going to be the business model for this game, is going to be selling cosmetics and such. So here we go. Here we have our Nasher. This is basically this will basically be the first type of behemoth you fight. Probably my favorite, just because it's your punching bag. But the Nasher is honestly probably one of the better. He's gonna go left. Yeah. I should also probably explain the different color damage. So yellow damage is known as part damage. So the monsters actually have a couple different HP pools. They have a part damage. They have a. Oh, I guess it does do damage. Never mind. I guess I just wasn't hitting the quill spore. And now this is where I fall apart here, because I'm not focused. Oh. Darn it. Use a potion here. I'd say if you're ever learning, like, you want to learn how to use a new weapon and such, this is probably your best behemoth to actually fight up against. I did not count. I should also say, so there's actually weapon combos in this game. I'll actually show it after we finish this hunt here. There's actually a varied level of weapon combos, but they only really show a couple, which is kind of unfortunate. There we go. So these white orbs here, they're actually the parts if you actually hit an area enough. So I can actually break off the tail, break the leg, and visually it doesn't affect the fight too much with the exception of the tail. And you'll hopefully see that in a little bit. Ah, darn it. That was in mid-swing. There we go. There's the tail. And he's enraged again. So once a part actually is broken off, you don't actually get any... You'll only be doing damage to the Behemoth itself. And what I mean by that, so you have the main HP pool, and then you have the part HP pool. So if you break a part, like I broke the face there, and that got me another Gnasher Hide. The damage will turn gray there, meaning you basically can't get anything else. The blue damage is if you want to try and stagger your opponent. Which only happens when you pretty much attack the head. I think he's actually gonna run away. Yep, he's running away. Darn. Oh well, one nice thing though, thankfully. I love physics. I love the game's physics in this game just because it's funny sometimes. This little pool here is actually a way you can heal as well if you used up all your healing items or healing potions. But the direction the Gnasher faced is actually the direction it'll go. Oh, it should hopefully be... Yeah, there it is. It's down there. I like what they've done. They had a lot of weather effects and such in the game as well. But one interesting thing here. So we finished fighting the Gnasher here for a second. So I know this says light and heavy attack. It's true that it's light and heavy attacks. And every time you hold select, you can just take a look and see what the sword does. So it gives you a basic list of combos, and each of these actually have their own effect. But I was watching one video, an old early access guide on the weapons, and I think it's a better way to simply say it's not just light and heavy attack, it's attack and elemental attack. Because your swords, depending on the behemoth you've hunted, can actually also have elemental properties. So there's actually, I think, 5 elements, which are shadow, light, fire, ice, and lightning. Or frost, if you want to be specific. And each of these have special effects that can be inflicted on most behemoths, depending if they have a resistance or not. But every time you do a heavy attack or elemental attack, you'll actually be doing a lot more. Of course, it's kind of hard to hit a Gnasher in all of its parts, because he has tiny, tiny arms. So very tiny. And of course, roll. If you ever played a Dark Souls game or a lot of other games, you basically just give yourself invulnerability things for a few seconds and just roll out of trouble. Hopefully, you've made proper clearance. There we go. That's another part broken. I will say though, one issue this game has had is the solo aspect. And I don't know what they're gonna do about that. I personally am a person who's really interested in soloing things, but they've changed a lot of the game's weapons and such to make it very difficult. There we go. That's the alarm. Ah, darn it. Like, I think the start of this game is actually very much a strength. Because this game does a great job. Like, Phoenix Lab has done a great job at making the starting hunts very user-friendly, so you kind of know what you need to do and what the score is. And also a very nice way to learn weapons. I don't actually normally use swords. So I focused on using the chain blades myself. Come on. I haven't broken off all his parts, I know that much. Damn it! No, don't run away! Oh well. But I like to think this game has a lot of potential. They have definitely added a lot of, Well, actually, no, now that I think about it, I guess... Well, for my time playing, they haven't added a lot of behemoths, but I'm hoping they'll have a lot more behemoths in the game. There's actually quite a few in this beta. I thought he went this way. Did I look in the wrong direction? I could have sworn he went this way. I already destroyed this area. Where the heck had he gone? Is he over there? No, I couldn't be. Oh, I just threw myself off. Well, that's good news about falling off in this game. It's not actually a death. They just catch you and put you back up. Although that'll teach me to actually take the geysers in the wrong direction. This was actually a new feature they added, which was a very nice feature in my opinion, because getting around you used to have to... Well, you had to walk everywhere. God, it's so hard to hit his tiny little arms. There we go, there's our last part. You won't always be able to break off every single part off of the, off of each of the behemoths. But the Gnasher's just a really great way of demonstrating. It's a great demonstration of what the flow of this game is, at least at the start. But we're just going to spend our time tonight just kind of going through the basic areas and working our way up. I think that's honestly what I want to show, because I want to show the game in full. Speaking of which, now that we've got some Gnasher hides, we can actually make ourselves some armor. Because I do not want to go through this entire game, entire stream just wearing recruit armor. But the reason I'm also partially conflicted on them not removing the, I guess, the base level armors that anyone can get through gathering is because this game's about monster hunting. I should want to dress up as the monster. But the conflicting part is because of those set bonuses. Like, now they have set bonuses, so there's a benefit to wearing... It's not a benefit to wearing the entire suit of armor, but trying to monopolize on those set bonuses. So, if anything, why don't we go over here? Or Armor Smith. I never actually done this yet. Oh no, I guess I did. I did make a national set. So, you can see here, basically, I actually made the national set. Each of these have set bonuses, so this one will also give me increased HP. Another increased HP. 105% damage versus enraged behemoths. And that same thing. So basically 2 and 2. That's what most sets actually are like. For most of the beta, except for the end game. We can also upgrade them, so notes, they give you more than enough notes. As long as you're active in playing the game, you'll never have to worry about the currency. And the only time you end up using the currency of this game is to create lanterns, upgrade armor, or create weapons as well. So notes are common. Arcanite, you get those just by farming, just by hunting behemoths. Most of the game is just the basic armor, but then they've made additional ones. They made a couple different levels of weapon and armor Arcanite, which I'm kind of torn on in that direction. But we can also upgrade it, so we have a Nasher Toque right now. We can actually make it Nasher Toque +1. We can actually just hold on upgrade. And it just becomes a Nasher Toque +1. But the more you actually upgrade it, the more it actually costs something. So, like, I have 15 Nasher hides here from all the times I've hunted Nashers. So it's actually going to cost that as well. And I reach the max level at +2. I can actually do the same here for all these. I won't do that.
Don't let the behemoths get you down.
We can also, on the weaponsmith.
Busy, are we?
Yeah, so we have the well, we don't have the recruit sword because I don't have a I don't have a ticket. That's a quest item. Unfortunately, you only get to make a couple of those. But we can make the Nasher sword here. There's also the hammer. There's also the chain blades. That's the one I'm used to using. There's also the axe, and there's also the war pike. If anything, I think I'll actually make this sword here. Because I kind of want to show off, and I want to learn how to use the sword a little bit better as well. Actually, no, we'll use the chain blades. So we can go to loadout. We can actually equip the Nasher armor. One interesting thing, they actually organize it by armor value. So whatever has the most, whether it has upgrades or not, will be the one, you know, whoever gives you the most resistance is the one you'll probably want to wear usually by default. So we can actually equip all these. And what also nice thing about it is you can also dye the armor as well. So the Nasher cloak here, and you can always default it, so I can actually make myself like straw, change the color of the feathers, go for a chocolate dye. And you can buy more dyes from the shop, and that's how, at least so far, how this game is, how Phoenix Labs is planning to actually make their money. And now I'm fluffy. I am very fluffy. Do not underestimate my fluffiness. Be incredibly fluffy. Speaking of fluffy, I actually like doing this. I actually do like that it's a two-tone. Not a huge fan of the, there we go. Didn't respond there for a second. How you doing, Ixie? How are you doing tonight? And every time you die, it does remember, and you can just click on revert, and that'll just go back to, a default color setting. But you can actually see, this is one thing, if you go to the control pad, it just only allows the modify option. But if you use the mouse and keyboard, it has Inspect, Infuse, Transmog. Transmog basically lets you change the look of your armor. That's another way. They can basically do fashion souls. Looks better as a two-tone. Oh, that's good, you're doing okay. Well, this is the closest color they give you to red. There is actually a red. A lot of dyes, but you have to pay actual money to unlock them, so I'm not in the mood right now to pay money, to invest money in that sense. But they give you all these dyes as a default. It's actually a quest to kind of show you how the shop works. But if you go to Inspect here, I kind of wish they gave you a... It only lets you inspect the boots. I kind of wish they actually would show the entire thing. So we just click on Inspect, it's just showing the boots. Click on Arms, it'll just show the Nasher Toque. And just shows you how far you want, how much it's worth. It doesn't seem to be like an overall description of your stuff. Can you earn loot boxes for a zero? No. Loot boxes in this game, the loot box system in this game, I don't think I have a loot box. The loot, actually I should show it through here. So the loot box system in this game is actually now through the Infuse system. So each weapons and armors, yeah, so we have infused effects here. So I guess that's the best way to get a more detailed description of all your set bonuses and what you're getting from them. But your armor and weapons usually get one or two cells, and you can actually set a cell. Now, once you use the cell, that's it. You know, you've used it. I don't know if they're going to have plans for you to save or get more cells, but you'll be getting this as you level up your reputation and such. So there's no other way of getting it other than the loot boxes and such. So I don't think colors are going to be it. So Sturdy Cell prevents staggered on a cooldown, protects against being on fire, and each of these will actually show, you know, just say what they do, but each value there will be shown in the infused effects if you do add it. I'm going to close the list there. And it's the same weapon, so I can take this, we can actually take this Rage Saber I have here. We can actually go to Infuse, and we can add a weapon-based one and a defensive-based one. I can see them selling items to remove a cell. Possibly. Phoenix Labs could do that. Oh, let's actually not use the Rage Saber. We are going to go down to the Gnash Blades here. And we can see here we got the Rage Hunter ability, because the weapon also gives stat buffs as well. So I'll be doing 130% damage versus Enraged Behemoths with using the Gnasher set. I would honestly say people, if my personal advice for this game, just focus on, don't get caught up hunting a single behemoth until endgame. If you get caught up hunting a single behemoth, you're gonna be left behind. So the weapon ones here, they have merciless cells. You got all these different cells. I haven't used any cells yet in any of the armors and such, because the whole, if once you use it, you lose it. I kind of want to save these set bonuses for end game and such, because I've learned there's quite a few good set bonuses out there. The last thing I want to show here is actually, let's go to back. We can actually go to style. You can actually also speaking of customization stuff, you can actually make your own banner, customize it with a sigil. So you can go with a snow crystal, pumpkin, just the Dauntless logo itself. Change the color. Fabrics, they all work off the basic dyes as well, so it's just a small set of dyes that you'll be working with. With the standard, you can unlock different ones, probably through the in-game shop, or with real money. Banner plants, I guess I only have one right now. Let's see, there was one other thing. That's it, Hunt Arrival and Signal Flare. So, unfortunately you don't really get a visual on the flares yet. But yeah, the Dauntless logo, the generic one, and then I have a Twitch one, because like I said earlier, I got the game from the devs from TwitchCon 2017. And there's Hunt Arrival. They added a couple of these, and once again, you kind of have to unlock these over time. Like the ones that are grayed out, I'm not gonna be able to use unless I buy them. But there's other nice ones here. You kind of drop with your hands up. Kind of hunch down. Very stoic pose. But my personal one favorite right now, because I got this from the Halloween event, you could rise from your grave. And you act like a zombie. But I probably should show the store here. And like I said, all of this is work in progress. This is in its closed beta. And so the way this game works, it has its own in-game currency, so it's platinum. Kind of the way Warframe worked, actually, in terms of platinum. So you buy platinum, and then you can actually buy items and stuff. So, Captain Pack, Storm Chaser Pack, all these different ones here. Customization items are available, so you can buy emotes for each of the weapons, recruit pallets, completion bundle. There's supplies, you can buy yourself transmog stones. So if you like the look of one Monster Hunter armor, or one set of Slayer armor, sorry, I'm going to be interchanging the two. Just because how embedded Monster Hunter as a franchise actually is for people. If you want to dress up as a different behemoth wearing their armor, you can use transmog stones. So you basically, your bonuses could say one thing, but your look will say another. Guild charter, you will, if you do want to actually, this is not so much playing with friends as it is creating a coalition of people. Thankfully though, right now, it only costs 300 platinum. So that's not so much. Patron boost. To my knowledge, I believe that gives a buff towards earning experience. So you could gain the hunter. So you basically unlock the weapons and unlock cores at a faster rate. And of course, there's a feature. So we have sigils. Basically, you could make your banner look different. And of course, all these emotes and stuff. But at the core of it, it's still just hunting monsters. And speaking of monsters, where am I? I am over by the blacksmith. All I need to do is go up to one of these signs here. So why don't we go and let's just do a patrol, since that's actually one of my quests, and I did it again. I did it again. I just selected start hunt. It is a bad habit I have. Well, maybe I can actually, nope. I just wanted to show the monsters myself. Because the game really does change when you actually put another player in. Aside from the difficulty increasing, meaning the monsters will have guess. So this is a freemium monster hunter game. Yes, this is going to be a free-to-play game. This is going to be a completely free-to-play game. So the only purchasing you'll actually have to do is if you want to buy emotes or cosmetics or anything. And here we go, we got another Nasher. I'm doing this because this is actually one of my quests. Never mind, it got changed to Quill Shot. I don't know why. I don't know why out of the blue it changes. I was not imagining things when it originally said we were hunting a Nasher at first. I don't know why the game does that, but it's kind of weird. It should be available at the end of May. I believe that's when they have it set. If you actually go to the Play Dauntless website, they've been actually very transparent on their development and their plan in this game. And I gotta say, I'm honestly happy playing an actual Monster Hunter style game. Like I said, my experience with Monster Hunter games really boils down to... Sorry, that's kind of become a bit of a meme for this game. Because that voice there, Aether Wisp, can give you a boost of energy. Aether Wisps used to be an item you need to collect to make healing potions. But they also gave you a boost of speed to kind of explore the island a bit faster. But what made it funny is that every time you boot up the game and you run into a wisp, it triggers that voice line. Aether Wisp can give you a boost of energy. It's kind of entered a bit of a meme in terms of Dauntless. That was the point of you flying. Like I said, there's little style things. Like, there's just nice little touches that show it's like, you're here to have fun and hunt monsters. It's not meant to be super serious. Like, obviously the plot of this game is actually very serious. It is serious business. It is serious business. I mean, you're effectively one of the last bastions of humankind trying to survive in this world. So it's kind of grim in that sense, but it doesn't really play itself off from that, and it kind of makes me wonder if they're going to invest more on story. I don't know, it's hard for me to say Fate of the World story. There we go, let's try and get revenge on this Quill Shot. Speaking of revenge, let's actually turn on the recording here and see if we can actually get a kill. So, Chain Blades, this is my personal favorite. Very quick attacking, but as well as you can see, I've taken a lot less damage. You also dash instead of dodge. So if you're a person who, like myself here, is rather act in terms of anticipating... I'm gonna get hit again. Oh, no, maybe not. Instead of anticipating attacks, you just want to... instead of reacting, you like anticipating. I'd say Chain Blades are probably good for you. The downside is, though, they cost a lot of stamina. The nice thing about them is that you can basically attack all the areas at once. But it does take a while for you to get your stamina back. And I think that's one of the core designs of this game, is it's a lot more based on managing your stamina. Because if you don't know how to do that, you're going to be sunk in this game. So a lot of the pace of this game will basically determine how much you can actually monopolize attacking the enemy. Enemy looks like if Lavos in Canada had a baby. That's an interesting comment I never actually heard. But the chain blades are nice. It's not just simply melee. They actually do get a ranged attack. I shouldn't have done that. This can be a little difficult. Trying to find an opening so I can actually, there you go. Never mind. Man, I used to have this enemy on lockdown. Ah, darn it. No, I can't deny it. At the same time, I probably should be more focused on the fight. The nice thing about the chain blades, apparently you still had blades to actually shoot, quills to actually shoot out, is that this combo I'm doing, it's a 3-attack combo. It's a stamina drainer though. Hey, the Behemoth. It's actually upper damage. I'm gonna take that frenzy potion. I do wish it actually would say how long your buffs would last. Start hitting the well here. Like I said, everything with the chain blades just drains your stamina. It's probably right now the weakest weapon in the game, unfortunately, because it doesn't have much going for it aside from its escapability, which I just showed you. The other nice thing about it, though, is you can actually get back into the action immediately as well. Aw, oh, damn it. I'm actually surprised I didn't get hit from that. That's kind of what actually it... There you go. It actually broke off part of its leg. That's one thing I don't like about this, is that if you use your escape and they just charge straight forward, you can still get hit. And also... trying to heal. One sec. Oh, and it runs away. There we go. And it does have a certain amount of charges. So you can end up using all the charges for it. I should also mention, in the upper right-hand corner, there's a percentage meter there. If that reaches 100%, if you're playing multiplayer with other people, you can't revive. You can't revive your teammates. Usually, if you're playing solo, you're not gonna go anywhere. That's most likely Earth type. I prefer Rock type. I prefer ground types. There we go. Real close to that edge there, buddy. Ah, darn it. Damn it! That's one downside about this game I hope they fix in the next patch. So, the one thing I'm talking about is if you end up getting staggered by the Behemoth, I just totally... Okay, sorry, that's actually never happened before. I mean, it was really cool. Get me out of here. Alright, you can stop throwing your needles at me. Just trying to get a heal here. Damn it, really? Probably gonna lose this, actually. There we go. Got another part off of him. Ah, damn it. Really? Just getting no luck here. Any terrible luck here. It's been a while since I've actually used the chain blades. I will say though, if you actually love hitboxes in this game, you'll be amazed. Really? That was a drag towards at the hitbox porn of this game. Sorry to use the word porn, but that's literally what it is. I just threw myself off the edge. That was dumb of me. But chain blades, personally, in my opinion, should be the thing that rips apart the parts of Behemoth. I think right now swords does it better. Well. Probably actually drink this health potion. I'm not gonna get any more. Ah, come on! It's actually running faster. There's always threat in this game. It's a little hard to answer. I'm gonna die. I am actually going to fail this. I am actually going to fail this because I have no stamina and I've wasted it all. There's not a direct threat. See if I can actually... Nope! Please don't kill me. Not yet. I'm gonna die. Like I said, this game is very much reliant on stamina. I'm just gonna attack it like normal. Oh, thank goodness. I lived to fight another day. No, there's not... To my knowledge, no, I don't know if there's a threat system in this game. Like, from my experience, I honestly say, I want to say it's just like, it's random. Oh, right. I'm still using the borrower's lantern. This actually tells me that the behemoth is that way. So no, I don't think there's like a direct threat system. And there you are. I'm just gonna see if I can hit this up here. I'm just gonna take this, don't mind me. There we go. But as you can see, your attacks do affect the behemoth. And what it can and can't do. I really need to stop doing that. Like, it just doesn't work with the quill shot. Same thing with how long it takes to actually get up. And there we go. Very, very rough. We barely did it. It was not the cleanest of fights by any stretch of the imagination. I think chain blades are not in the best place right now, because one thing I haven't really been able to show, and it's really actually difficult to do in this game, is actually interrupting the behemoths. There's ways to basically, depending on their attacks, certain attacks will stop them and stagger them, and basically enable the player to actually do more damage to the behemoth. And it used to be every single weapon and player could do it, but it made the game a little too easy, so they nerfed a lot of the weapons to kind of try and give them a bit of a focus. Unfortunately, the chain blades kind of got the rough end of the stick. Because even though they're still the best at attacking the fastest, they don't really do... I still like them, myself. But the pace of the game, as the further you get, there's not those huge, gigantic reprieves of being able to do damage. And not being able to interrupt someone solo, or interrupt a behemoth solo, also kind of makes it a turn off. Speaking of which, I gotta actually go make an axe. Actually, no, I probably should go... Actually, no, I've never used a hammer before. I'm hesitant to actually use a hammer. And honestly, say, when you're starting out, swords are definitely the best for new people. Hammers are also great. Good for a team effort, but they're terrible at breaking off behemoth parts, because doing slash damage basically enables you to do more part damage. And the reason for hammers and axes is to stagger the behemoth. Not stun the behemoth, but just stagger them. Why don't we actually go and make... a spear out of that quill shot. I think we should have enough. Hopefully we got the parts. We did. Quill shot hide. Here we go. We'll make a quill pike.
Behemoths beware Borman blades.
Like I said, hopefully they're going to make sure you don't have to unlock each of the unlock the war pike and axe, but it's hard to say. Hard to say. And you can even make the quill shot armor as well. And you can even see the difference here. 1 barbed, plus 5 wound damage on hit. I think wound damage, from what I understand, and then once again, it's hard because the devs haven't really specifically said what these things do. opens up the opportunity to let your teammates do more damage. So I guess the hammer and the work pike are kind of the weapons for if you want to be a team player. And honestly, from the looks of it, looks like the cool shot armor is actually probably really good for a team effort here. For now, we're just gonna stick with the Nasher armor here. We're gonna hunt our next behemoth here. This is actually the quill shot is actually the third one you fight. The one you fight after the Nasher is actually the Shrike. I do want to check one thing though. Like I said, I thought it'd be nice to be able to show off the dailies and such. And I thought I did a patrol hunt. I guess I did not. Yeah. So like daily, hunt 2 behemoths with the axe, hunt with the hammer, break 5 parts from any behemoth. With the warpike, break 20 parts from any behemoth. Oof, that's actually going to be a while. Yeah, so if anything, we can actually just do an expedition hunt. And you can actually choose, so I think I'll choose Ulrich's Refuge here. Actually, no, we'll choose Iron Falls. I'm sure we'll get a Skarn, though. If we get a Skarn, I'll back out. If we get a Shrike, I'll commit. Yeah, it's... And I forgot to do... I'm just gonna keep forgetting how to actually not do that. I gotta select Private Hunt. Each behemoth basically will spawn in a certain area. Let's actually try and do a... Let's actually do a private hunt. That's like what I wanted to do. The Nasher. Well... You know what? Actually, no. I do want to show each of the behemoths over doing my dailies. I could do my dailies any other time. I want to show off the, each of the behemoths. Let's do a pursuit. And like I said, I really actually like this activity. Letting you actually decide. I did it again! I did it again! I keep doing it. Because I'm a dumb person. And I shouldn't be selecting just start hunt. But I'm so used to, because even then, where I am, it doesn't matter if I select, start hunt or private hunt, because I'm most likely going to be hunting the behemoths by myself. Because I'm at the end game. There we go. Let's actually jump into this match here. Now that we've gone through this, the search process like 3 times, let's go hunt ourselves a Shrike. But this game does have a very linear progression system, so each time you go to a new island, there'll be new behemoths that you can fight, and they'll usually give, and their sets and weapons will usually have higher attack value and such. So, I wouldn't, like I said, early on, don't worry about the set bonuses or anything like that. I was still hunting a recruit armor until I finally actually upgraded. I think I upgraded to... I actually hunted the Shrike, actually. The Shrike was actually the first set of armor I made. Because it actually looks pretty good. Come on, get off the trunk. That's one other problem this game has, is walking around. You'll just end up getting caught up against things, especially the tree stumps. Like this map, you don't really have to worry about tree stumps too much. But for some reason, though, if you get caught up on a tree stump, you can kind of end up getting yourself stuck.
Word of our community's acclaim spreads.
Maki Otaku, thank you very much for the host. Hopefully you're having yourselves a good day. We're playing some Dauntless in its closed beta here. I should probably talk a little bit about the Warpike. So the Warpike focuses on wounding enemies. So you can enable damage bonuses for your team. So you basically have your straightforward attacks, and then you have your harvesting attacks. But the meter up there, there's actually two factors to that. There's the standard meter, which if you build that up more, you'll end up doing more damage. But you can also collect what's in the meter there and turn it into a projectile. And this is why I brought the pike specifically to hunt the Shrike. Just to kind of show you what happens if you actually pull off an interrupt attack against a Behemoth. And unfortunately, it seems like the opportunities to actually do it, to actually stun an enemy, get lower and lower. So let's actually get a few attacks here. We'll build up our special gauge here. Okay, already. There you go. There you go. And we have a missile. So that dive attack that the Shrike just did there, that's actually what we're going to be looking for. That's what we're going to be trying to do the interrupt on. There we go. I will say one awkward part about the Warpike, though, is that you can move left and right when attacking. So you can end up just doing like a pivot to the left or right. Which makes me wish this game had a lock-on system. There we go. You can actually charge up an attack. And I flopped that because I misread its attack. And I really actually should charge up my stamina. Yeah, so that little leak there, that just means the, that means it's wounded. And that's how you stun a Behemoth. And that's what you actually, honestly, should try and find. But not many attacks exist anymore. If you do get hit, you do lose your special meter. Oh. Well, that was a complete misread there on what he was gonna do. I just lost my bullet. You can store up to 3 bullets, though, thankfully. And they don't have to be super powerful ones, either. Ah, darn it. Too slow. I kind of wish they made the recovery times a lot faster. Give me that missile. One other thing, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the Warpike, honestly. And the problem is basically, and this is one of the core problems I had with the combat. I should really, is that your recovery animations are so slowed that you can't actually do anything, and you'll just end up getting hit again. And it actually can result in the worst situation, which is being comboed. That's one thing I wish they'd fix. Also, really wish they'd fix that as well. Ah, damn it, I keep misreading the Shrike. It used to be every time he did a charge, he would... Every time he ran away, he would charge at you, but not anymore. And I always dodge that way too early. The downside about the Warpike is that it's probably the second weakest. Oh. Did not press X. Unfortunately, I don't benefit from the wound damage. There we go. I'm not a fan of the... Damn it, I keep misreading that. I also wish you could cancel out your bullet. Like, once you commit to using your special with the Warpike, you're committed. There's no cancel button. And he's just gonna run me over. Did it too early again. Like I said, it's... Like, animations... For how fast-paced this game actually is for combat. And this is the slowest it'll be, actually. I should say that. Animations in this game are way too slow for how expedient the behemoths actually act. That's one of the downsides. And obviously when you have multiple people and the behemoth's not focused on just you, it's gonna be easier. I mean, let's just be honest about that. But... Damn it! I really hate that I'm always misreading the strike here. Actually, I need to heal. Also, I really, like I said, if it had a lock-on system, I probably would like it better. Nope. I messed it up again. There we go. He should do his charge now. There we go. Oh, I stunned him. Or I broke one of his parts off. I broke another part off. And I'm jumping for joy, apparently. Hey, let's actually take a potion. I don't really get to use the potions that often. Come on. I want you to charge. There you are. There we go. Aw, oh, damn it, I ran into that on purpose. Was not thinking. Let's run into the tornado. That's a wonderful idea. There we go. He's gonna run away, isn't he? Yes, he is. Thankfully, the orbs actually just do stay. If I could actually get close enough to pick it up. I think, honestly, between the Nashor and the Shrike, I probably have hunted the Shrike more. You used to have to actually collect stuff from these rams. Not anymore, oddly enough. They're just allowed to roam the floating islands free. Alright. Alright, come here. Give me a charge. One thing I also do wish is aiming the bullet for the Warpike is really slow. Oh, crap! You lied to me! And I got too close. I have terrible depth perception. That is a really long... There we go. Nope! Warpike animations for its elemental attacks are way too long. Let's just get that done. Come on, take flight. I think we've broken most parts off with a Shrike. I think we have. Oh, wait, nope, there you go. Well, we got this. Well, we got its arm. And we got it, this leg. Oh, it was resting. Oh, that was the missed opportunity. And I messed that up because I was... Like I said, the downside of the Warpike, animations are way too long. Especially for its heavy attacks. They need to be shorter and snappier. And I have no stamina. That's why I'm running like... Oh, there's still something to break. What else can be broken here? Oh, please. Really wish they need to improve that. Oh, it's the tail. Of course, it's always the tail. Nope! Ah, damn it. Just that weird disconnect, honestly, I think this game has. Alright, I'm just gonna go and take your stuff. Nope. Also, it's weird, the bullet for the Warpike. I wish it traveled straight. I really wish it traveled straight, but for some odd reason it doesn't. Like, it travels straight up to a point, and then it just curves off wildly. It's hard to tell. I have a hard time figuring out when, or what distance. At what point will the actual bullet from the Warpike actually take off in its own direction? Another positive thing about this game, well, I guess it could be a negative. I have had it happen to me once. Oh, damn it! It keeps doing that. And you can run out of time for your hunt. But unfortunately for an online game, without an instruction manual, it makes it very difficult to figure out. There we go. Please, don't be a bullet. Thank you. I got the strike. Goodbye, birdie. Like I said, if you're definitely playing with a group of friends, using the war pike is actually nice. The downside, though, right now, for some strange reason, the more teammates you have in your group, it takes a lot longer to actually properly wound a behemoth. I've actually gone into a 4-player team where I've never been able to actually properly wound a behemoth, and it still dies. And it kind of makes me go, something has to be off with the numbers. But because, and I think it's because the behemoths have more health, and so it becomes harder to actually wound the behemoth. But why don't I change things up a little bit here? And what you're honestly seeing is very much the core of the game. There are quests, but the quests are very much focused on, like, here, hunt this behemoth.
Like this remind me of Ostia.
Actually gonna show you the axe. I actually switched the axe from the chain blades because later fights become, how to put it? Yes, I definitely have hunted the Shrike a lot more. Yeah, 30 part on next hit after a dodge. How to put it? I'm actually gonna do a full upgrade on this. The fight becomes so fast-paced that you don't really get the opportunity to unleash a combo in this game. And you'll see that in future nights as I play through, later. Do I actually have the Shrike armor already maxed out? There it is. Oh yeah, it's already maxed out.
Don't take too many chances.
I want to put on the Shrike armor. Oops, that's definitely not the Shrike armor. Here it is, the Shrike plate. The helmet. Like I said, unfortunately, navigating with the gamepad, kinda not the best. Let's see. I do like the Shrike armor. The Shrike armor, it looks really good. An option to turn off the helmet, though, would be nice. That is definitely one thing I do hope. Oh, forgot to equip the axe. On the axe. Where's the axe? Here it is. I think I need to do an expedition hunt? I need to do an expedition hunt. Get a monstrous verge, we can do an expedition, and we can go to Ironfall. Damn it! I do wish you could cancel hunts. I do wish you could cancel hunts if you've made a mistake in selecting what you want to hunt. I do wish that actually existed. Because a lot of times you'll just miss Q. You just miss Q, and then everything goes, got a heck in a handbasket. Private hunt, there we go, that's what we want. And there you go, we're hunting the Skarn. I think part of this game's balance is definitely going to be determined on each behemoth's design, and if you can get an interrupt with how fast they're actually attacking. Because if you can't get an interrupt in whether it's solo play or team play, and if the combat for the behemoths goes too fast, and I think that's actually one of the problems for the late game, is that it gets to the point where the opportunities to actually attack the behemoth become non-existent, that you actually don't get... The fight is basically artificially lengthened because of that. So instead of having that ebb and flow of moments where you can just attack the behemoth, when you constantly just have it flowing, like say a waterfall, always constantly being demanding of your stamina, by the very few times you do get to attack, you're artificially lengthening the boss fight. Not because it's harder, but because the boss's attack pattern is just so consistent, it just stalls the length of the fight. And it's betting that you, the player, are just going to keep getting hit. And even if you don't get hit, you're not able to actually really create those opportunities to do more damage against each behemoth. And that's honestly a personal criticism I have with the late game. Like, early game, honestly, Quill Shot, Gnasher, Shrike, all of those are fun. Like, they're very well paced for the player to learn how to play this game, and at the same time to master it. And speaking of which, here's the Skarn! It's a gigantic stone armadillo. I should also show the axe here. So the axe is actually a charged weapon here. You can actually do two types of attacks. You got vertical. We can deal damage like that. And then you have horizontal, which is your elemental attack. And you're gonna be swinging that like crazy. Unfortunately, I did not do that right. There we go. Very hard to actually pull that off. I actually got lucky because I already got hit. Oh, right. Hang on a second. Hang on. You need to fall down. Yeah, but the axe is basically bringing the big damage. And he does ground pound. But every time you get that number increased, you'll actually end up being able to do more damage to the behemoth. As you kind of see the huge difference in damage. Ah, darn it, the head hit me. Like I said, it's very interesting, the hitboxes in this game. They're not bad, if anything, for the most part, they're actually too good. Oh. Yep. I'll primarily be using my normal attacks, because that'll actually let me get my damage up. I missed this. Oh no, I didn't. I actually got it. But doing charge attacks with the axe there will drain your stamina if you do the elemental attack. But the reason I've actually grown to like the axe a lot more is that, like I said, the pacing of this game later on becomes just getting that one good hit. And like, would you rather do 1,000 damage, or would you rather do 200? I also don't know why at times the enemy just becomes a hitbox. It's another behemoth that actually has the same problem. Damn it, I always get the timing off. Is it frozen? It's unfrozen now. Can you? Okay, you can move. You can move now. I was a little curious. I will say the Skarn is very difficult to actually break off break off his parts. And just to let you know, +3 is actually the highest for the axe. So at this point here, once you've actually gotten your axe damage optimized, it's gonna be up to you to keep it charged. And the only way you can do that is land charge attacks. And they don't always have to be full charges, like what I've been doing. I've really been just doing full charges. I just like getting as much damage as possible out of my hits. I just totally hit myself there. Not able to get that. Actually surprised I'm not able to do enough damage. Oh crap. Let's not get caught up in the tornado, shall we? Are we out? I'm actually surprised. I actually got it. Never mind. Look at that beautiful damage. Damn it. Hang on a second, let me heal up. I've broken both of its legs. At least on one side. I've totally missed that. Alright, just fall down, you. The axe does have combos, just like everything else. But I think, honestly, just doing one good charge attack is more than enough. Oh. Darn it, ran away. Because the downside about the axe is that it's slow. Can't exactly afford to be too slow on the battlefield or overcommit your attacks. Where the heck is it? I think Dauntless is definitely going to have a lot of competition, though. Just simply because there's already Monster Hunter World that's out. And I'm curious, though, if they're actually going to do a lot of support for that game, or continued support for that game. Especially since it's supposed to come to PC. And then they're also releasing a Monster Hunter World game that's existed in Japan, actually, apparently for quite some time. I believe it was called Monster Hunter Double Cross. And from what I understood from talking to Exposure, it was a Monster Hunter game that was an upgrade from a DS game. And it was originally made by the people who made Monster Hunter proper. So, like, people who bought Monster Hunter as a game you can actually attack the rocks independently of themselves. Oh, crap. Oh, they really don't want me to... Alright. Oh. It's kind of hard. I personally have a trouble interrupting the behemoths. Look at all that damage. I probably would be doing like 15 damage each time I attack the, Oh, crap. Overcommitted. And used all my stamina. Making a same mistake. Oh, finally enraging. What? Oh, I got hit. There was a little... Unfortunately, there was a delay. No, Hammer's actually really good against the Skarn. It really is actually really good against the Skarn. Because the one thing I haven't really been able to do on the Skarn, and I haven't become focused on that, is attacking the, attacking the head. So I haven't been focused on that. Ah, darn it. Darn it, don't warp me. Ah, I was too late. Oh no. Not the hurricane. My biggest problem with this game is really the timing for a lot of attacks. Yeah, see, so that blue health there. So that's it staggered because it's dizzy. If I go any further, there's apparently a way I could stun it. And apparently also break its face. Kinda hard to land those hits, apparently. Oh, I think I actually got the leg instead. Oh, no crap. Come on, I know you want to charge at me. You're gonna leave. Oh no, you're just gonna jump around. And then you're gonna leave. Yeah, no, the axe is all about being able to do the most damage. It's slow, but when you just need to land that one hit is all that matters. I'm actually about to lose the charge on my axe. Let's see. Where the heck did he go? This way. Where the heck is it? Yeah, when the number disappears, that goes away your bonus damage. And that bonus damage affects both your normal attacks and your charge attacks. Where are you? Where are you, Mr. Skarn? There you are. Hi there, buddy. I got a charge axe for you. Very nice when you pull that off. And it's also very frustrating when you miss. Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about fall damage in this game, thankfully. You can attack the armor as is, though. Like, I think the Skarn's the only one that actually does something unique like that. Oh. I don't know what. Okay. A little confused there at what I wanted to do. Yeah, if you don't do enough damage... Well, remember, this game is in beta, so expect things to not always go as planned. Or in this case, programmed. One nice thing about the axe is that there is actually a super armor. You'll still take the damage, but... Damn it. Come here. And there goes the Skarn. Yeah, the Skarn's interesting because it actually has its own layer. I caused one interrupt, and that's why I got that reward. Let's see, I showed everything but the hammer. And the reason is I actually have never really used the hammer. I've learned to like the axe. The axe is actually, in my opinion, for late game, really good. Sword is also really good. Chain blades, unfortunately, really suffer, because you saw, like, the pacing of the fight. There were a lot more opportunities for me to attack the Skarn, and the Nasher, and the Shrike. And even the Quillbar. All of them. I had more opportunities to attack than I actually took. When you get to the late game, there's really barely any reprieve unless you actually get one. Unless you actually make one, and that means having the right weapon, and using the right attack, and having the right timing. But I'll say one thing right now. The speed of the game, and the animation attacks, or the attack animations, I should use the words properly in the right order, are really slow and sluggish. That it's very difficult to actually land those attacks. Like I said, I hope one of the options of the Warpike, when it comes to shooting the bullet, I would like to be able to cancel it by pressing a button, like dodge would be a nice one, just to automatically cancel and save the bullet, and also be able to increase the movement speed of that, because you're effectively using the Warpike like you are shooting a gun, so instantly you need to be able to increase the movement sensitivity. Because when you're using a keyboard, it's probably fine. But when you use a gamepad, it's really slow and really sluggish. And that's something that definitely needs to be improved with the gamepad. But that's going to do it for our first night of Dauntless. I'm definitely going to go back tomorrow. because I do want to show as much of this game as possible before it goes open beta. And just kind of show what each of the monsters actually... what monsters you'll be fighting or expecting to go up against in the open beta. Not really... I don't really have much a way to give strategy, but just a way to show, just show the game in a better... in the best light I can. And it might just be a game that you might be interested in as well. And apparently I'm missing a Behemoth from this roster. I'm a little confused about that. But I'll also do my best to kind of show the other armor sets and such from hunting them. And plus it's nice for me because hunting the end game can be very stressful and it becomes a really big grind. But until then, give me 1 second. Let me take a look and see who else is streaming right now. Take a look here. Ah, actually perfect. Speaking of exposure, he's actually streaming right now. I would actually highly recommend watching him. He's actually playing Persona 5. If you enjoy a lot of chill streams, you definitely want to check him out. And of course, if you have any questions about Monster Hunter games, he hasn't really done much of Dauntless. He's tried it just like me. But he's more in tune with Monster Hunter games, and it's a lot more advanced than what Dauntless is. Like I said, Dauntless, I think, is a great way, if you've never played a Monster Hunter game, and you're interested in trying it, try out Dauntless, and you'll understand why people like Monster Hunter type games. And if you want to take it from there, you want to do something a lot more advanced, a lot more complicated, a lot more complex, you can definitely go out and give Monster Hunter a shot. Until then, though, I will see you guys tomorrow. We'll be doing more of this tomorrow. Probably do it for the next couple of days. Until then, though, thank you very much for watching, and take care.